All right, guys, been looking forward to this lesson. We're going to talk today about the release. We're going to talk about how to sling it. We're going to talk about how to hit a draw. So many of you slice the ball. You turn your 8-iron into a 9-iron. You use so much effort with your body and you don't create any club head speed. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and press that subscribe button. There's a bell button next door. Click on that. You'll get a notification every time I release a new video. I want to talk to you about this guy called Henry Cotton. Fantastic golfer. He won the 1934, 1937, I think 1947 Open Championship. The guy was a baller. I mean, he could really, really play. And the thing about Henry Cotton, he had absolutely wonderful hands. And he believed that the hands play a major role in the golf swing, okay? He talked about the hands all the time. I believe the wrists are responsible for the actuation or articulation of the golf club. Incredibly important to understand. I'm going to demonstrate this today. Now, Henry Cotton used to use tires with his students way back when, and I'm going to show you exactly what he used to do. And it's so ridiculously easy, guys. I'm telling you, for those of you that struggle with ball striking, just do this drill and you're going to do incredible things, okay? Grip the golf club in your fingers. You've heard it time and time again when you looked at videos. Do not grip the golf club in the palm, okay? It doesn't allow you to leverage it, okay? What does that mean? Well, I'm not able to hinge my wrist particularly effectively if I grip it in the palm. It's almost impossible here. You see, I'm trying to hinge. I'm really not even getting close to enough hinge with my wrists. If I put it in the fingers, of course, it's a whole different thing altogether, isn't it? Can you see that? Here's the other thing. I'm going to put the club back in my palm here. I'm going to try and twist the golf club, because there is some twisting that happens when we talk about releasing the golf club. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And if I try and twist, you can see that's all I've got if I grip it in the palm. If I put it in the fingers here, check this out, how I can turn that golf club completely upside down. Boy, for you slicers, is that going to be important. So do that test, okay? Put the club in front of you and see if you can turn it literally 180 degrees. Look, with no effort whatsoever. If you can't do that, you need to do one of two things, or maybe both. What you've got to do is grip the club more in your fingers and maybe just strengthen your left hand. That just means, as a right-handed golfer, turn your hand more clockwise on the golf club. So maybe you add a knuckle to your left hand. Notice I can do that very, very easily, all right? Now, this is what I want to try and demonstrate to you. Because again, it can't be any easier than this, okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up to the bag, and I'm going to take my trail hand and just kind of put it in my pocket for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my golf club back halfway, okay? So it's about parallel to the ground. And then I'm going to take a look at my club face, all right? Now, if I go down the line, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. If I take it back halfway, I want the toe of the golf club tipping a little bit more down towards the ground at this point, okay? If I roll the club away, so the toe is pointing more behind me, all right, my club face is now open. Now, it doesn't mean I can't square the club face up, but I'm going to need a much higher rate of closure in order to get that club face square. And that's one of the biggest challenges I see with golf swings. 100% of the time, people that slice generally roll the club open early in the backswing, and they're not able to recover enough as they get the club back to impact, all right? So I'm going to take it back halfway with my left hand, and I'm going to demonstrate to you. That's in a pretty good position. So now my club face is not open. And I'm going to demonstrate to you what most golfers do to bring their golf club from here to impact. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to go to the top of my backswing, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn through it. Now what you're going to see here is that I spun my body back to the bag, okay? And you're going to see I drag the handle forward. All right, so what I've got here is I've got a late release. All right, I'm not getting that club face pointing to my target. I'm getting it pointing way out to the right, okay? So if I'm going to do this correctly, I can't tie my arm to my body and spin my body to get more speed. A lot of misconceptions out there. I believe that is definitely one of them. So I've got to, in many respects, be able to sort of dislocate, all right, my wrists from my arms and my arms from my body. In other words, I need to have very oily joints for this to happen. So you can see if I go ahead and swing at waist high, what many of you are doing is you're taking it back halfway and then you're trying to spin your body, and you can see if I do that, the club gets way too far behind me. And then at impact, of course, you're playing catch up. You're trying to square that club face in like 1,000th of a second, which is very, very difficult. So what's the answer? The answer is obvious. We go to the top of the backswing. All I got to do here is I've got to turn my knuckles back to the bag, and I've got to make sure that I stay facing the bag. All right, I'm going to do that one more time. That was really complex, wasn't it? So parallel to the ground, facing the bag. One more time. Parallel to the ground, facing the bag. Now you'll notice when I go to impact here, the club face is square. The toe of the golf club, guys, is rotating very gradually towards the bag. I'm going to do it from this angle here. So we're going to be in this position, and there's impact. Okay. The butt end of the golf club is just simply returning back towards me. All right, I'm definitely not pushing my hands forward. I'm not working on forward shaft leans. What I'm doing, very simply put, is I'm returning the butt end of the club towards me, okay? And I'm getting the club head out away from me. And as I do that, I'm twisting the golf club a little bit, all right? Take the other hand, I'll put my left hand in my pocket. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to feel like my trail hand is a little bit more on top of the golf club. So many of you roll that club away and get it open. You don't want to be doing that. So I'm going to take it back halfway. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, guys. Look, I'm going to twist the golf club as it approaches impact. I'm going to add a little twist here, okay? You see my wrist is actually turning down, okay? But notice as I'm doing that, I'm not spinning my body, okay? I'm not getting too open too soon, which is what I see with most of you. Do exactly the same thing. So we're going to go here and here, here and here, here, and here, here, and here. Guys, that's golf. In a nutshell, that is golf, okay? Put both hands on, do the same thing. All right, I've got my grip in the fingers, take it back to waist high. Notice I didn't fan the face wide open. Now watch this, I'm gonna try and hit it harder. And when I try and hit it harder, I use my body too much. I start to drive with my body. Golf club gets released early, club face is wide open. That's what most of you are doing, all right? So we're going to keep that body pretty quiet, okay? And we're going to work on actuating the wrists and swinging the arms. And you'll notice here, it's just a little popping motion. So all I'm doing here is bringing the butt end of the club back towards me. I'm getting the club head moving away from me. That's my impact, guys, okay? I'm going to do it down the line one more time. Take it back halfway, make sure the toe isn't too open. All I'm doing is twisting this golf club back to the bag, returning the butt end of the club towards me. I know from this angle it may appear to you as if I'm coming over the top of it this way, which I am not, of course. I'm coming over the top of it when I spin my body. Get my right hip and shoulder out too early, I'm coming over the top. You'll notice when I swing down, I'm keeping my trail hip and shoulder back, and then I'm going to go ahead and give it a little twist. And here I am. A lot of you are going to look at that and say, well, your hips, you got to rotate your hips. Your hips are too closed. We got to get open, right? Very, very important that we get open. This is where it all falls apart, okay? I know that my hips ideally should be slightly open, okay? Here's the issue. I'm 53 years old. And I don't have the ability to separate my lower body and upper body segments like I used to be able to. Now I'm working at it, but it becomes a lot harder. So trying to swing like you see tour players swinging isn't necessarily very helpful. In fact, it can be rather detrimental, okay? So you should be able to play really great golf into your 70s, your 80s, even into your 90s if you understand this very simple concept. All right, here's the beauty. When I do this, okay, when I do this, the faster I start to do this, you notice I'm not getting my arms tied to my body. What's going to happen here is I start to create a little bit more speed. You're going to start to see how my lower body, in a sense, starts to get engaged. All right, in other words, my arms are going to start to feel like they're employing my body in many respects. Now, this is a feel. It is not a real. Remember, if you want to gain an inch, You got to travel a mile in golf without any question. You need to exaggerate these feels if you want to improve your golf swing. It can't just feel a little bit different, it's got to feel a lot different. So I hope this makes sense, guys, okay? What we're going to do here is go a little further back, and we've got to be patient enough to make sure when we strike the bag, our upper body feels like it's facing the bag. You want to feel like your upper body is facing the golf ball when you hit the golf ball. I cannot stress the importance of that. If you want to hit drawers and slingers, you can't be standing here getting your shoulders open at the point of collision. You're going to hit pull hooks left, you're going to hit weak slices to the right all day long. Just what's going to happen, all right? So we're going to get out of this station. We're going to get back over here. I'm going to show you a little setup I've got, and we're going to hit some golf balls, all right? All right, let's get to work. No more impact bags, okay? We're going to hit a golf ball. I'm not going to hit big shots. I'm going to hit little shots. I got my pool noodles here set up. I've got this one set up right outside my target line. Okay, maybe a club head outside my target line and 3 feet behind the golf ball. I got another pool noodle. It's right opposite the center of my feet. Maybe another 3, just over 3 feet to the left of me. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to establish a different shape to my golf swing. I know that I don't want to be coming over the top. I don't want to be spinning. I want to feel like my shoulders, guys, when I make contact, my shoulders are square. I want to make sure I almost feel like my shoulders are closed, actually, would be kind of helpful. Remember, your arms follow the path of your shoulders. So you don't want to sabotage the direction your arms swing by spinning your body. I'm going to hit a little one, okay? Just like when I hit the impact bag, I'm going to let the golf ball get in the way. I'm going to go ahead and set up to it. Check my position back here, okay? Make sure the toe of the golf club isn't getting too open. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just start to rotate the toe of the club down to the golf ball. I feel like I'm twisting the golf club, guys. I'm actually giving it a little twist here, okay? And as I strike the golf ball, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure when I hit here, I'm going to finish just post impact. I'm going to feel like my shoulders really aren't particularly rotated. Let's go ahead and do that. So it's a little one. I'm going to go back, check it, and we're going to go ahead and hit one. All right, so that's just like it's kind of a supported release. I'm not releasing the club per se. What I'm doing here is I'm making sure the toe of my golf club is returning back to the golf ball. Now, important to understand, guys, the toe of the golf club is considerably lighter than the heel. The mass of the golf club, in fact, is centered a lot more around this side of the golf club. So that means if you have that good grip pressure we talked about at a 5, the toe of the golf club actually wants to rotate and the shaft wants to spin. This is the whole thing. If you allow it to happen, a lot of the time it's going to happen. We just need to monitor our tension, right? Don't get too much tension in your joints. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. There's the toe of my golf club. Check it again. And there we go. All right, good stuff. So I hit both of those flush. I hit them low. I hit them straight. I got no ball flight just yet. What I did is I turned my 7-iron there into like a 4-iron. Okay, it's nice and low, which is a good thing. I start to add some speed. I'm going to hit it a mile. But as I strike the golf ball there, what I'm doing is I'm turning my knuckles back to the bag, okay? I'm not having my knuckles point up, okay? I want my knuckles to feel like they're at the bag or even slightly to the left of it as I strike the golf ball. The back of your left hand, guys, needs to feel like it's working down, okay? Not up. That's a really important key. So let's go ahead and make a slightly longer golf swing and see what happens to the ball flight here. So what I'm going to do, instead of finishing here, I'm going to start to make a little bit bigger golf swing, all right? I am not going to spin my shoulders. So shoulders are going to stay back towards the camera as long as possible. When I strike the golf ball, I'm going to feel like my shoulders are facing the ball. All right, I almost feel like my shoulders are even slightly to the right of the golf ball here. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continue to rotate the golf club counterclockwise. Now that may appear to a lot of golfers like that's a flip. I can assure you it is not a flip. A flip is when your hands, guys, are behind the ball at impact. Remember, we're turning the butt end of the golf club towards us. All right, that is not a flip. Through impact, of course, that's what I'm looking for. From this angle, it may appear like I'm flipping the golf club, but the truth of it is, if I get around here and show you, that is right there is not a flip. Okay, that's rotated beautifully. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and make a slightly bigger swing. and I want those knuckles turning down right around here. For those of you who are going to ask that question, and it's like, when do you turn it down? With your irons, you're going to start twisting the golf club right around chest high, okay? With your driver, you're going to start twisting the golf club right around shoulder high. It needs to happen earlier, okay? With a longer club, it needs to happen a little bit earlier. All right, let's go ahead and sling a couple here. All right, I clipped it. I've got to exit just a little bit more to the right. And do it one more time. There we go. All right, guys, so those are moving from right to left. That's your draw swing. Very important to understand. Do not spin your body in the transition. Do not grip it too high in the palm. These are the things that cause, I think, all sorts of trouble. Many thanks to Emery Cotton again. A lot of great instructors out there, modern day and of old, okay? There's no right or wrong. Just make sure it's the right fit for you. Go out there, work on this. Hit some draws, guys, okay? If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them for me. I always get back to everyone. If you think this could help someone, go ahead and share it, and I look forward to speaking with you next time.